guys, welcome. It's your girl Amara Negra, and you're listening to Exactly Amara, a production of iHeart, and I am so grateful that you guys came in to tune in and show me some love and support as usual. If you're watching me on the YouTube channel, don't judge me because my hair looks like a beehive. You know, okay, I am a working mama, and I could not sit over here and do this podcast and talk to you guys about today's topic. But before I get into it, I want to remind you guys to subscribe, rate, and share this podcast. Okay, do that with your friends, families, with whoever you may know. Feel free to also leave a comment. I'm always there chismoseando todo lo que ustedes dicen. I'm always there reading the comments. Whether you like the show or you don't like the show, or you like me to improve something, or if there's a specific topic you want me to talk about, because I like to hear your opinion. This show is actually for you guys, you know? I like to be transparent, honest, and organic with y'all, but I did this for you. So today, I want to talk to all the mamas. I want to talk to todas las madres, las mamacitas. Y yo sé que muchos de ustedes, I know a lot of you guys are over me talking about my pregnancy, and I'm always talking about being pregnant, and like my baby this, and my baby that, and this and that, but this is like something that happens like, you know, not once in a blue, because you can make this happen many times. Trust me, it's not that difficult. But this is my first time, and I want to share my journey with you guys. So I want to talk to you about every single thing that has been happening during my pregnancy. And part of that is the fact that my babies are changing my body. And this is something that I wasn't necessarily prepared for, because I've always had like a body image, you know, issues. For those that have heard my podcast before, I was honest and open, and I said that at one point in life I was bulimic. I used to binge eat, and throw everything up. You know, and I've been in places where I've gained a lot of weight. I was like over 230 pounds. Then I lost the weight, and it's like my body has gone through a roller coaster of like being fat, being skinny, being fat, like all types of things. Also being in this industry, right? The entertainment industry makes you feel as if you have to have this perfect body. Like you have to be flawless. That's why Facetune and, you know, whatever other apps is out there, you know, Photoshop, like you have to have this perfect skin, no stretch marks, no cellulites, no dimples, no jelly rolls, no acne, no this. And it's so hard, especially for women. So I've always tried to fit into somewhat society standards of beauty when it comes to my physical appearance, like my body. And then I came to a point como que ya, no me importa, like whatever. Right before I got pregnant, I actually lost 60 pounds. And it was such an accomplishment. Like, wow, por fin, ya bajé de peso. I'm like the skinniest I've been in a very long time. Y entonces, boom, right there, I come and I get pregnant. And then my body starts to go through a different, you know, body transformation. But I really want to hear a male's perspective of, you know, what it is to be with a woman once her body changes. Because I feel like a lot of times guys don't want to say the truth, and they try to like not make women feel bad, you know, because their confidence and postpartum and all those things. Because one thing is when you're with a girl, her body is banging, and next thing you know, her stomach is full of stretch marks, and it's, you know, it's the skin is sagging, and you know you can't even see her toto anymore, and you know the cellulite, everything is weird and it's jiggling, and then the boobs, you know, start to like breastfeed the belly button because they get long and stretchy, and it's just a lot going on. But then the guy's like, "Oh, I love you. You look so good," and I'm like, "Do you really? Do you really care? Do you not?" You know, the same thing I talk about. I always talk about the push, because when you see it on the YouTube channel, oh my God, that looks so terrible, Lord. But then I wonder, when the guys and the husbands or whatever, they get back with their girls and they go back to smashing, is it still juicy? Is it good? Is it wide? Is it spread? Is it loose? Tell me what's happening. I don't know. I've never had a dingling. Then I also want to know from somebody else's perspective that doesn't have any children at this moment, eventually, right? Hopefully, I don't know what she's looking forward to in life, but are these any of her concerns? Me, I'm already stuck in the situation. I'm here, it's happening. But with that being said, I want to bring in Alex, Big Sexy. Okay, is it Big Sexy? Big
Yeah,
Sexy,
I can't believe
yes?
you actually called me that. It's something that everyone
That's
called me in
right,
high school,
'cause-
and you brought it out.
That's right. Yes, Big Sexy. Ladies, you already know. And we got Arlene, Mrs. Juicy. You already know. Mrs. Juicy is here with us today.
Miss Juicy bien nasty.
Okay. Oh my God. I just gave you like a stripper name. Do you like it or do you
I'm
like
down with
another
it.
one?
That's my
Okay.
my all-time
Yeah.
alter ego.
Your alter ego is Miss Juicy. Well, with that being said, no, the truth of the matter is, guys, I have been going through my whole body transformation. I've been trying to be, to accept it. My tummy has been little, right? And I haven't had like crazy stretch marks yet. I do wonder how my body's gonna transform once I start breastfeeding and all these other things. And then I also think about también, what it is to go back into regular life and get back into the entertainment industry, which that is very extremely over sexualized, and they do expect this perfect body.
It's a lot of
So
pressures.
it's a lot of pressure, mija, de verdad que sí. Alex, you that have been there, done that. Does it really bother you? You could be honest. It doesn't matter. It's cool. Judgment free zone. But did it bother you once your partner, your wife at the time or whatever, had her babies and you saw her body change from the hot mama that that you got into it and then she changed? Like, was it a thing for you? Like, oh, okay, well,
So
womp,
I'll be
womp,
completely honest,
womp.
and I don't speak for every dude out there, but I do speak for most men out there. I, for one, did not see that change, the bad
Really?
change. I saw someone who
Oh,
is sacrificing her entire body to give life and to bring my children
Amen.
into this world, right? My little spawn.
Yeah.
And I couldn't in my head wrap around like the pains, everything that she is doing, right? Like yourself,
Yeah.
to sacrifice because anything bad could happen, God forbid. And
Yeah.
so that's for me, I saw the good.
And no, the truth of the matter is that not all men see the fact that the beauty of a woman giving, you're creating life. Your body, women's body is so amazing. And I feel like we should give women more credit for that
oh
because we
yeah.
talk about it, but like literally, her body is creating another human being because we all come from there, right? And just the process alone, the pain, the discomfort, the everything, even from the morning sickness to the epidural, if you get to that, or if you have natural birth, or if you get split, lo que sea, just the whole process of a woman, what she goes through, and not only physically but also emotionally, because your mental health, your hormones, todo tipo de cosa que I feel that obviously men don't understand 100%.
You make a good point too,
Pero
Amara, that there's a lot of pressure for women, especially with our looks,
yes.
going back to having sex with your partner after your body has been through this entire change. Like those are insecurities that maybe women don't talk about with their partners, but that's definitely there in the back of their minds.
Something that was weird for me too, having sex while pregnant. I tried it with the father of my kids because I don't have to give details to y'all, but with the father of my kid, I was like, look, this is, my children's, like this is y'all home. I'm not just gonna have any random, whatever come in here and just, stab me with it. But if we do it, all right, let's try it. But I felt so weird to be like, okay, let's have sex. And I felt like my stomach was moving, and not just one, it's two. So like my whole stomach was just like, like a whole bunch of aliens just like moving in the stomach while I'm getting, jabbed with it. And I just felt weird. Like I didn't feel sexy. I felt uncomfortable. I felt horny, right? Because I think it's normal to say your body wants it, but like you gotta find these awkward posiciones, like do the side one, like the lazy one. We just lay there with one leg up, just
But
like
it's important
like.
that you also, it also helps later on with having your kids.
Yeah, I heard that it's actually very healthy for you to physically be active in that aspect. Pero it does affect, at least for me. I'm sure there's women que no le importa and they feel sexy, but at least for me with my partner at that time, it made me feel como a little bit uncomfortable to be pregnant because I just didn't feel as attractive
Yeah, you
or
want to
as
feel sexy
sexy.
when you're like trying to have that time with your partner, and then all of a sudden now you have this whole other part that's growing, and it's now like apart. You have to maneuver past this belly for sure.
Yeah. So that's definitely one of those things. And I'm sure that there's also a transformation once you have the kids of going back into trying to find yourself and feel sexy again, feel attractive again, because obviously it takes some time. It took almost a whole year for you to create this whole human being, but now it's going to take some time for your body to go back to how it used to be. A lot of times it shall never go back to how it used to be. I feel that there's like a before and after. Even if you work out, your body has changed, right? And something that I was talking about before, Big Sexy, is that oh yeah, with that voice. And I was like, okay, be honest too. When you go back into having, how is the difference in between having sex with your partner when they're pregnant and then after? After they have their children, do you feel or see a difference?
So I don't. Well, when they're pregnant, obviously yes, right? Because it's to quote one of your lines, it's juicier when they're pregnant, right? So
yes, and it's
yeah.
tight and everything because of blood pressure.
Right, yeah.
It's true. We're being educational right now.
Okay, all right. Teach me, Big Sexy.
So basically,
Yes.
Oh God, I'm never gonna live this down. So basically, yes, there's a difference. But the after is not a negative difference. The after, and you got to remember, a woman's body has to get back to normal. You just let, and I'm not talking about the normal, like Amara would say, of the push. I'm talking about the normal of like, it's like going through surgery, right? So you have to make sure the body, and it takes what, like 6 weeks?
Healing.
Yeah, 6 to like 12 weeks before your body kind of just starts feeling normal again. And then you start working out and stuff like that. But in my experience, it got better afterwards. It really did, yeah.
Really?
And I've had, I never thought in my head like, oh, this feels different. Oh, I don't feel more
Right.
aroused, or I feel like it's not as it was before, quote unquote tight or anything like that. It just, everything, like I mentioned before, it goes back. It's like a muscle, it goes back to normal.
The truth of the matter is that yes, your body is going through a whole bunch of changes all around. And obviously, once you stand in the mirror and your body is changed from the woman that you originally, saw, yes, it can be traumatic for you. And at the same time, you don't even, a lot of times, not every time, but if you're a working mom or if you have, several kids, you barely have time to take time for yourself to work out and take care of you. Because you're like taking care of newborns, your body looks, weird from what you wanted it to be, and it's just a lot. It's a lot on the plate. Por eso creo que es importante to have a really good support system, and have people that love you and support you and help you understand. And if you have a good partner next to you that's willing to, instead of hablarte mierda, because I've seen this happen so much. There's so many men that can be so judgmental towards their own partner, towards their own wife, where you discredit her, make her feel bad for her the way that her body has transformed, and support her. Let's go to the gym together. You know what? Let's not eat this tonight. Tonight, let's cook dinner together, something healthier. Like, figure out ways. Because something that I did see on social media was how they como es, ellos idolatran, right? They uplift the dad bod. The dad bod is the great thing. Like, oh, you have such an awesome body, with, if you have a big tummy, estás como un poquito descuidado or whatever, it's hot. But what about the mom bods?
Yeah.
These bodies that are creating a life are the ones that are being, made fun of, or they make them feel ashamed. So that's something.
I got
that
a question for you, Amara.
definitely
And I've seen a lot of women do this, where they do some type of physical activity, doing yoga, even lifting weights and going to the gym and riding their Pelotons through the entire like pregnancy. For you and yourself, when did you notice your body kind of like taking shape, not because of just the belly, because you have kids, right? But everything else.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Well, I'll tell you this, like the ending of my first trimester, I noticed that my toto was kind of swollen. And I was a little bit concerned. Like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, and I would like, try to like do all types of Cirque du Soleil trying to see what is going down there. And then I went to the doctors and they told me, well, one, it's the blood flow. There's pressure. The uterus is going down. The babies are growing. And yes, that's going to make, your vagina swell up a little bit. All right, cool. I noticed that I was very juicy. And I was like, oh my God, like, do I want it? Do I not want it? I don't know what's happening. My body's telling me, I guess, that I'm supposed to. I don't know what's going on. So you're trying to understand your body, what's happening. Your breast becomes sore. Your my back now, I'm starting to do the wobble. Like I do that thing where you walk like side to side, really like a penguin. I don't mean to. I just don't even know when I do it. My mom be the one like, oh my gosh, she's already wobbling. I'm like, what do you mean? So I guess the way you kind of like start finding balance by walking side to side. My back hurts. My
They say your feet grow. Have your feet changed?
No, fíjate que
Ooh.
no. I haven't gotten swollen. Like, well, my face got a little bit chunkier, un poquito, pero my feet haven't gotten swollen, las manos, nada. A lot of pregnancy, especially with girls, la nariz, se te hincha un poquito, la cara, los pies, nada. And then obviously my stomach has grown, which has made past stretch marks that I already had intensify a little bit. I have that very dark line in the middle of my tummy going down. My belly button is completely lost.
Lost?
Like all of it is out. Like, there's nothing.
It's like a
Everything is
turkey.
just blood.
You know the babies are about to come because the belly button pops. You're like, hey, let's go,
The
babies.
belly button already popped. So yeah, has my body changed? Yeah, of course. Have I seen other women that their bodies have changed way more than mine's? For sure. I've heard women like, oh, I gained 150 pounds and, like el cuerpo le ha cambiado muchísimo. And I've seen a lot of women that never get their bodies back. Their bodies never go back to how they used to be. Like their bodies se acomodan. That's another thing. It's hard también, but I don't know how you're supposed to do it. A lot of women como que se acomodan with their new bodies and it's like, that's it. It is what it is. Take it.
What does your mom say about her when she was pregnant with you? Does your mom talk about how her body changed at all?
She says that supposedly before she had me, she had a fat ass and I took it away from her, but that's a lie because she's never had no booty. So that's a lie. But her tummy, did suffer some consequences because back then, even C-sections were different. It wasn't like a little side, bajito. It was one of those from the belly button down. They would just slip, like old school C-sections and they would just slide you open. So she has that. It almost looks like a butt in the front. But she would hate me for saying that. But it's the truth. That's how surgeries used to be back in the days. So yeah, she has, pero ella es otra que I don't think she got so caught up in being a mother that she didn't really take that time to take care of herself again like she probably should have. So that happens. It does
And remember
happen
too,
often.
like there's more than just the physical aspect, right? You're talking about your actual like respiratory system, cardiovascular system. Everything inside of you is working overtime.
And you know what, guys? I'm glad that you're hearing the male perspective, porque sometimes I feel like these conversations don't really happen a lot for men. It's always women
right.
talking about it, pero los hombres normalmente no oyen esa versión of like, it's normal, guys. Like, stop being an ass. Her body's going through this and it should be cool. Like, you're going to get your girl back, but fall back for a little bit. In a relationship, how does that affect when a woman can't really be sexually active? Are you okay holding off for a little bit? Or, was it hard for you to be like, damn, I have to wait like all these weeks or like 2-3 months to stab her
So
again?
in the beginning, yeah. So for me in my head, I was like, oh damn, like I can't get it in. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
had to kind of step back and remember what just happened, and
Right.
there's pain and there's, like you said, there's tearing, there's all kinds of things that happen, to a female anatomy when they have a baby. So at first I was like, oh man, but as time goes by and she starts, feeling better and not having to wear a diaper anymore,
Oh my
because
gosh, Lord.
you have to make sure you take care of yourself. Plain and simple, you just have to take care of yourself.
My thing is to Big Sexy, after you see it come out, when you see the product, did you see it come out?
She told me not to look.
Don't look
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah, she was like, don't
Because
look.
if you see it come out and it's like a big tunnel and everything's just like, and everything just comes out, how do you stick it back in?
But it
Like,
was to me, it didn't bother me. It just didn't bother me at all. It's crazy. I might just be the outlier here. It just doesn't bother me. I cried. Is it
because there's
okay
a
to
part of me
cry?
that feels like,
Oh
yes,
yeah, yeah.
crying is
Yes, you
I
better
did.
valid.
cry.
It was just like I was overwhelmed.
But that's because you didn't see it. You just saw the
I
baby.
peaked. It's all right.
But
You
you
peed?
Yeah, you
peed?
have to. It's like, yo, I also had to cut the baby's umbilical cord, right? So I took
Yeah.
that, the doc.
You had one rule:
I looked
don't
at him.
look,
The
and
the
you
doc was
peeked.
like, "Hey, would you like the honor?" I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, that's my child right there. Yeah, for sure."
I'm sure it's a beautiful thing, but afterwards, I'm like, dude, you're in here, you look at it, and then later on, you're gonna stick it in there, and then you're gonna lose your
No,
face in it,
no,
like,
not at
wah, wah,
all.
wah,
Us
like,
guys are like, hell no, man. We going back in. I don't know what you're talking about. The problem is that you have, and not you, but this is just a stigma, right? We
right,
have the way that we look at things. Everything
yeah.
has to have a physical standard to it, right? But for us
Right.
guys, I'm sorry, that goes out the door. Once you're okay and cool, let's put the baby to sleep because I am coming back.
Yeah. Was it weird also having the baby there and then, like, okay,
Oh,
we're gonna
that's
do it
right.
No,
again?
not at all. It's a
With the
baby. Well,
baby.
the baby doesn't like all it does is cry and get fed. It's not like the baby's gonna be
I
like, "Hey, you
know.
putting your dingling in my mom?" No, like this.
Oh my God. Arlene, is there anything like, are these, I mean, I know you're not necessarily maybe ready at this moment, right? But are these any of your concerns or have you thought of any of these things or are you just like, whatever, it is what it is?
Well, I actually was pregnant and I lost my baby. This happened last year.
Oh wow, sorry
So
to hear that.
I was able to have the baby. I was 4 months pregnant, so my body started to change significantly. And like you've talked about, it felt like an outer body experience. Like I didn't feel like I was in my body. I was used to working out and I looked a certain way. And all of a sudden, I went from a size B cup to like a C cup and everything just changed. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, but listening to all this, there's a lot of things that women think about, especially, how there's this pressure to bounce back immediately for your partner, but also if you're in the entertainment industry, the
Mm-hmm.
pressures of Hollywood too.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
one last thing that I wanted to bring
Yeah.
up to you too is, that you're going to be overwhelmed for the first couple months. I think sex might not even be the first thing, not even the last thing on your mind, to be completely honest, for a while. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to prepare you for this because as somebody who sat on the outside looking in, you're going to do this, okay? Not only do you got to try to take care of yourself after pregnancy, right? And you're going through a C-section, so you got to make sure everything's good there. Secondly, you're going to be feeding these kids at all times of the night and day. Every 2 hours, you will be up. Okay. You're going to be missing sleep for almost the first year and a half to 2 years. Okay. You will be changing double the diapers, feeding double the children, getting double the food. Whether you're breastfeeding or not, or whatever you decide to do, you're still going to have to be up every 2 hours feeding two kids. So you will be, I'm telling you right now, she would wake up and I would instantly wake, even though I had to be up early to go to work, I would wake up with her
Yeah.
and I would rub her back while she
Good.
was breastfeeding the baby. She would fall, she
Qué
would she would be
lindo.
down, her body's just tired, man, just like
Mira, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something really quick that happened in my baby shower. I got emotional when I first, came out and I saw the audience and they opened the curtains because you know me, everything has to be dramatic and extra as hell. And I did like a very royal, baby shower. And when I came out, I stood there in the crowd and I just looked to the right and I looked to the left and I did my best to take every that moment in. And when they gave me the mic and they allowed me to talk and give a couple of words, I thanked everybody for coming. All those things, but I said it was so hard for me to stand there because in my mind I had a different vision of how that day would go. I never thought that I would be standing on that stage by myself. And at least I had the support of my friends and family that came there. And obviously I had my girls, but I just wish that I would have had, you know, him or a man just holding my hand in that process, you know? And I started crying, and it was such an emotional moment for me because I'm like, damn, my baby shower, my first time, my first journey, just the first time of everything. And it didn't happen the way that I visualized. But later on, I realized how my words were impactful because I got a message from somebody who actually went to the event, and it was a guy. He actually came as a guest for one of the people that I actually invited. And he DM'd me on Instagram and he said, after hearing your words, they really touched me and it made me want to be a better man for the mother of my children, even though we're not together. And that's something that I really feel like that's why to me this podcast, this episode specifically is so important because we're not here to bash any women. We're not here to talk down or anything. It's really to vent, to share experiences, to learn from each other. Sometimes you could even see it as an educational moment, but also for men, if you feel or you know rather better that you could be a better father, that you could be a better dad, that you could be a better support system to the mother of your children, whether you guys are together or not, that's fine. Do so because it is so hard on women. Society already puts enough pressure on us. And then when we finally, do have these children, your body changes, your mind changes, everything changes. And it's so hard when you don't have that support system, especially if you had something to do with it. If you were the one there, putting all the pumps in there, you remember when you were pumping it? You remember that, right? You remember it was juicy. You liked it, right? And you did all of that in there. Okay, well, guess what? After you did all of that, she got pregnant. And now, even while you're working, even while you're gone, no matter what happens, she always has to be there. She doesn't get to have breaks. She doesn't get to be like, you know what, pause. I don't want to do this right now. Where's the receipt? I want to give the baby back. She doesn't get to do any of those things. She has to be there at all times. So if you have the possibilities of being a better father or a better support system, of being nicer, of being more caring, of asking, how are you doing? How do you feel? What about you? It's not about me. I know the kids are important, but how are you doing? Because if she's not doing good, she can't be the best mother that she can be for your children as well. So, I just want to put that out there because I know that there's a lot of men that really could be doing better, and you're trash.
Damn.
Y'all agree?
That was amazingly well put, heartfelt,
Yeah.
obviously, and 100% true. Be a man,
Yes.
and step up to the plate. That's all. That's my 2
Step
cents.
up to the
That's my 2
plate.
cents.
Yes. Arlene, do you agree with me?
I do, and I'm grateful for your honesty and in that moment when you were at the baby shower getting so emotional, how do you not?
Yeah.
Women have these expectations, and we do this to ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
We have this expectation of what we hope. It's mostly about like what our hopes are, especially when you're pregnant. It's like an example of what your future is and what that looks like. So for you to be so honest, I know that your listeners and your fans are gonna connect with that because that's why they listen.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Not just you guys listening, but I would love for you guys to share your experience and your stories with us as well. We're always there reading the comments, like I said before, whether you go to the YouTube channel and leave a comment there, or you go to Exactly Amara on Instagram and also on Twitter. I'm always there to read the comments and see, what you guys been through as well. I would love to know if there's any guy that knows, like, damn, I really should be a better father. I really should be a better support system to her, even though we're not together. At some point, I did like her, or even if you didn't like her and it was just a smash, whatever the case may have been, she is a woman raising your children, raising your children. So definitely, if you know that you could do better, write comments down. I want to read it. And if you're a single mother or you don't feel like you have a support system, also talk because we're always there. If you need us, we're right there. And I always think is good to have a helping hand and just someone that's gonna hear you, because sometimes you just need someone that's gonna hear you out, right? Y nada, ¿qué le puedo decir? I am grateful as usual to have Alex, Big Sexy in the house, Arlene, Mrs. Juicy. Today's episode has been really good. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You guys are
Yay.
awesome.
We love you. Thanks for
Yes,
having us.
for sure. I hope that this episode has been helpful in some way, somehow, to any of you guys. And I hope that it touched somebody's heart. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me every Thursday. And remember to follow, like I said before, Exactly Amara and My Cultura podcast on Instagram. And remember that this has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura podcast network. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast. This is your girl, Amara La Negra, and you just heard Exactly Amara.